Hey guys! So I just saw the new Fantastic Creatures movie and it inspired me to do a Hogwarts themed doll. Personally, I'm a Hufflepuff, but most of my friends, through no fault of their own, are Ravenclaws or Slytherins, and a few years ago I actually designed a bunch of crests for Hogwarts house mashups, so a combination would be fun to make. Let's make a Ravenpuff. I've got 3 dolls to choose from. This Draculara is definitely a contender. I have other plans for this Elizabeth with her purple skin tone, and this Katrine has ears, and it seems like a waste to take them off for this project. Plus, I'd like a more natural skin tone, so Draculara it is. I begin by cutting off her hair as close to the scalp as I can. This helps when you're pulling the plugs out through the neck hole. The longer the stubble is, the harder it is to yank all the hair out. The next step is to take the head off so you can get to the plugs on the inside. Boil yourself some water and make sure you overfill your container so you can't submerge her completely. I find that it's really helpful to get boiling water all over the counter. Okay, pour some out, and there you go. Let her rest in there for about 30 seconds so the doll's head is nice and squishy. Then yank her head off over the sink. Usually my doll's head fills up with water, so be careful of that. Use something to rub the inside of the doll's head with to pull all the plugs out. I have this chopstick that I use to dye my yarn and fabric with. I actually had a lot of trouble with this doll's head. Usually the glue is hard and almost plasticky, like dried glue globs. But this time it was super wet inside, which meant it was also stringy as well as sticky. I edited a lot of this process out since I didn't think it would be very fun to watch me struggle with the plugs for 20 minutes. But you can see this big globby hunk right here, and that's the tail end of about 6 big long globby hunks that were all in a chain that I had to yank out bit by bit. I've done 5 doll heads so far, and no 2 heads have been alike when it comes to cleaning them out. Weird, huh? Next up comes taking off the factory paint. I do this with pure acetone. I've heard of people taking off faces with nail polish remover, but like, how? I tried once and it just sort of spreads the paint around and leaves an ungodly mess. I really recommend just using the acetone. Try to use spinning and scooping motions to lift the paint off rather than trying to swipe it off. You're less likely to get streaks and stains that way. Now I'm mixing up some blush colors for her face. I have a contour, a blush, a highlight, and a lip color, as well as this extra color that came out way too bright and orange, so he's just gonna have to stay there until I clean out my palette. On my second palette, I prepare some colors for the eyeshadow. So at this point, you'll probably notice some gaps in my continuity. I unfortunately lost a good amount of footage for this doll, and the only good news is that I did her face 3 times because I messed up the first time, hated it the second time, and finally got it right on the 3rd go. so since there was so much footage, I'm able to show you a lot of my process, but if you're looking for more of a tutorial type video, I'd suggest watching one of my other videos. Though I'll still have some tips in this one with beginners in mind, so don't click away just yet. When I blush my dolls, I hit up the contour of the cheek, along the sides of the nose, the tip of the nose, and then I come back with a pure white as a highlighter and hit the usual spots. Tip of the nose, tops of the cheekbones, and a little on the forehead. Now, my last doll, Penelope Page, was also a Draculaura, and I was a little worried about putting out two of the same doll back to back, especially because they have pretty similar clothes as they're both schoolgirls. So in order to differentiate between the two of them, I tried to make this girl look maybe a little older since she has makeup, and a little more realistic by giving her smaller eyes than Penelope got. This sort of backfired on me since I got through the whole face-up and then I realized that her eyes were just way too small. I've seen other face-up artists do this and it looks good, but, well, it doesn't help that the eyes are crooked and just ugly. I also tried to give her an open-mouthed smile, and I think I made the teeth too big or something because she just looks buck-toothed from any angle except straight on. I really didn't like it, and I thought I could make myself be okay with it, and I just wasn't. So I ended up wiping off this whole face and starting over. So with a clean head, I blushed and did her makeup off screen, lost some footage, and here she is with her new, bigger, less crooked eyes. I wanted to give her brown eyes, so I'm starting with an orange base and building up with darker colors from there. Here's another jump forward to after I put on the eyebrows and got tired of building up color with just my pencils. I don't use acrylics like Delightful does because I am a big scaredy cat. So instead I just wet my brushes and pick pigment right up off the pencils. Oh, and this little guy was outside of my house when I went to spray her. Don't worry, he wasn't sprayed near, I take my dolls around the corner. Back to the doll. Here I'm fiddling with the eye color, ringing the iris in my darkest brown. And adding the pupils. I wanted a soft looking pupil, so I'm mixing my darkest brown and black together. I'm not sure if it made much of a difference, but I'm happy with how it turned out. Then I take my pure black and go over her winged eyeliner again, darkening the line and making it a little sharper. And now for the eye shine. Add some highlights under the brow bone, and we're done. Almost. I also coat her eyes and lips in gloss. So I didn't want to buy my own gloss yet, but my friend who is an artist had a bottle, and she let me steal some. I didn't have a bottle or anything to put it into, so here is my invention. It's a straw with a glob of hot glue at the top and at the bottom. I filled the straw, then cut off a kind of cap, and cut slips into the cap so that it would easily go back on. I've had this little straw for 2 or 3 months now, and the gloss hasn't dried out yet. Not bad for something I had to come up with on the fly. I just give her one coat, since super glossy eyes are sort of difficult to photograph. Since this girl has so much makeup on, I figured 3D lashes were a must. I have a pack of the singles kind, and I pick them up with my tweezers, dip the end in glue, and then hold it on top of the lash line and pray it sticks. Yeah, I don't have any cool tips for this part, you just gotta hold it for a few moments until it dries. Reunite the head with the body, and she's done. Oh, except she's probably a little chilly. Well, it worked with Agnes. Let's give her a wand so that she can choose her own outfit. Ooh, nice choice, especially for a Ravenpuff. She gets a head of curly silver locks, and a cute little bow along with her Hogwarts uniform and mini cloak. She even has the patch and everything. I'm going to name her Saffron St Claire. I get the feeling that she's a little into nature, but more of a Ravenclaw mindset where she's embroiled in her studies. Maybe not always for class, but definitely always working on some kind of project or another. I'm really happy with how her makeup came out, and the curls are really pretty too. I used Mozekito's tutorial for this wig, by the way. I'll link it in the description box down below. If you're interested in getting a Ravenpuff item of your own, I sell this design over on my Redbubble. You can get it in shirts, sweaters, posters, all kinds of things. And if you don't happen to be a Ravenpuff, I've got all the other house combinations as well. I've even got a few zodiac signs in some suspicious colors. I'll put the link to the shop in the description box too. If you liked Saffron, please smack that like button, and if you found this video fun, go ahead and hit subscribe. I post new videos every other Thursday. You can follow me on Instagram for some sneak peeks and behind the scenes stuff, and maybe look out for a giveaway in the near future. Thank you so much for watching, and bye for now!